Hi, thanks for joining me for another episode of Quick Business Tips. Today, we are going to dive in to the cringeworthy world of personalized email marketing when it goes wrong. And guys, this is our marketing fail of the month, a brand new recurring theme that we're bringing back. But we've all been there. We have either sent or at least received those emails that are supposed to be personalized, but end up feeling a little icky. Whether they get their name wrong, they're recommending products that you might sell yourself, or they just scream email blast and they're trying to make it look like a personal note. These are all marketing fails, and we want to help you avoid them. Now, there are some marketing fails in this genre that make me immediately unsubscribe, but there are others where you just shrug and say, yeah, I get it. We have all been there. So, because this one hits a little close to home, we are going to protect the innocent and change up some names. Even throw in some fictional, but totally real examples. So let's imagine a local service provider. We're going to call them the hometown helpers. They offer a range of services from landscaping to home repairs. Think of this as your like honey-do list guy with a pickup truck and, can do just everything you need him to do. And while trying to grow their business, they decided to do some email marketing. And it sounds really good. But where it goes off the rails is when they purchase a list of email addresses from a company that may or may not be reliable and try to craft this personalized email blast to promote their services. Now, I'm going to read you a slightly exaggerated yet completely and sadly realistic version of an email that a company like this might send. The subject line is Jennifer, get your lawn looking amazing this spring. And it goes on. Hey, Jennifer, we know how busy you are. You run a successful marketing agency. That's why Hometown Helpers is here to help you with all of your lawn care needs. That's right. We know you're passionate about your perfectly manicured hedges and offering a special discount of 10% off your first lawn mowing service. Click here to claim your offer. This doesn't sound bad in and of itself, right? It's your typical, they're throwing in names from time to time, but when I received an email very similar to this, I was not a homeowner. At the time, I was renting. I had no need for lawn care services, and I don't even know how this company got my email address. So, this is just one of many disasters that can come when you purchase like just this bulk email list. And a lot of times they are sold to companies as like, we've vetted this list. We know that these are, people that fall into your target market. And you end up spending a pretty decent chunk of money to buy all these email addresses. But if you don't know who you're buying from and there's no way for you to really vet the data that they're sending you, it can be a huge waste of money. Now, another thing that is similar to this is when I have another marketing agency trying to sell me as a marketing agency owner their services. And it's not like, hey, we know you're busy and you might need to outsource some of your work. It's like, hey, we know you run a business, and so you might need someone to design your website for you or to optimize your website for you. Like all they have to do is a real quick search and find out I offer the same services. Why would I want to buy them from you? It's no different from a plumber sending another plumber a sales pitch. It just shows a complete lack of any kind of research or personalization. Now, if you're just sending out emails, kind of like the mass postcards that show up in your mailbox, and it's just like, hey, we're just going to send out to everyone in this neighborhood our lawn mowing services. That's one thing. There's nothing on that postcard that makes it feel personal to me at all. I understand mass marketing. That's a thing that exists and it works for some companies. But when you are trying to make this sound like, hey, I looked at your profile on LinkedIn and I really want to help you, take your website to the next level. I'm pretty sure you didn't even look at my website because if you had, you would have understood that I'm not your target market here. So if you're going to do personalization, make sure you've done a little research about the people that you're sending it to on the front end. Because when the personalization feels really superficial or inaccurate, like getting someone's name wrong, um, then you've sort of made a huge misstep and you're going to erode any trust that you might have been able to build with this person. Now, we can look at the email that the hometown helper sent out and talk about what they could have done differently to make it better. First of all, segmentation. Figure out who owns a home, who doesn't own a home. And if you're gonna talk about perfectly manicured hedges, let's make sure that people have some kind of landscaping. In this area, there are a lot of homes that have like barely this tiny little strip of lawn. And even if they are homeowners, a lot of them around here have lawns that are cared for by the HOA. So really know who it is you're sending to. We call this segmentation. And it's not just for lawn care companies. Look at what people have purchased from you in the past, if this is your own database. If it's coming from a cold market, you can start by sending them surveys or, looking at what links they're clicking on to see what their interests might be and segment them that way. So you can do it through demographics, past behaviors, figure out what their needs and interests are, and then start tagging and segmenting within your CRM software. You also need to make sure that your data is up to date. I see this all the time where people send out a bunch of emails. I mean, 1,000 emails, 4,000 emails, and like 60% of them aren't good anymore. They're just bouncing back. Anytime that you're getting more than a 10% bounce rate, a lot of the email software companies out there are just going to shut your account down until you go through and clean up your database. So when you're pulling from a database that is months or maybe a year or two old, you really need to clean that up. And there's software that you can use to see which email addresses are still good and then only send to those. Also, you want to make sure that your emails are relevant. When another web design company sends an email to me saying that they would like to redesign my website, the relevance is just non-existent, right? So it's no different if you get a list of email addresses that you buy from a company and the company says, these are all pet owners. If you're not sure that they're pet owners, you need to go through and like research and reevaluate and reconfirm that these people are pet owners before you start marketing your pet sitting or pet grooming service. You also want to go beyond the name. When people try to personalize emails, a lot of times they will overuse that first name and it really gets redundant and it makes the whole thing feel awkward. Like if you've ever been in that conversation, and I'm one of these people, I'm working on getting better at learning names, but I will try to like add someone's name to the conversation in this really awkward manner because I know that if I say their name 3 times, I'll remember it. And if I don't fit it into the conversation 3 times. It's going to completely leave my brain and I'm going to feel terrible about it the next time that I see them. Don't make your emails sound like me in this weird, first time we met and I'm trying to remember your name conversation. You want them to sound like you're really talking to a human. And the best way to do that is to avoid going straight from AI copyright directly into an email, no proofreading. You're going to sound like you're a computer or a robot. It's either going to be overly enthusiastic, which is what I've seen ChatGPT come up with a lot, or it's just going to lack any kind of authenticity, emotion, or human tone. The next thing that a lot of people do when they're making this email automation mistake is that they are just trying to sell, sell, sell. A real estate agent might say, hey, you lived in your home for 3 to 5 years now. A lot of people start looking at upgrading and moving on and, changing with their family dynamics. And are you ready to buy? A month later, they send in another one. Hey, here's some homes that you might be interested in that are larger or smaller than the one that you're in now. Are you ready to buy? And if they keep sending out these, are you ready to buy? Are you ready to buy? Are you ready to buy? People get tired of that. If you are able to add value, whether that's tips, exclusive content, valuable resources, links to other kinds of quizzes and tests, things that really add value and serve your client base, people are much more likely to, one, forgive the occasional mistake, and two, stay subscribed to your email list because they're going to want to keep getting that content that they find valuable. And don't forget to test different subject lines, content, calls to action, little trigger phrases so that you can figure out which call to action, what subject line, what things are really working best for the different segments in your audience. But even if you do well on the personalization side, personalization isn't really enough to get the sale in this current market. The real shift is when you are able, as a marketer of your business, to go from selling to building relationships. And that is when that value add and the resources and the stop with the sell, 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 sell becomes so much easier. Because if you look at every email, every social media post, everything that you're doing as a way to serve your client base to the best of your ability, the sales will come on their own. Provide value, be helpful, and be authentically you. So instead of the generic pitch slap that a lot of us are getting on social media DMs or in these random emails that come into your inbox, you could have been a better version of the hometown helpers and sent something a little bit more like this. A subject line of making life easier in Westfield, Indiana. Hey, Jennifer, we know life in Westfield is hectic. Between work, family, and everything else, it's hard to find time for those little or big tasks around your house. This is where we come in. We're a local team offering a range of services to make your life easier, from lawn care to home repairs, pet sitting, and errand running. We're not just about getting the job done, but about building relationships. If you're curious to learn more, here's additional details about our 4 main services. And then they have links to lawn care, home repairs, pet sitting, errand running. And in their own database system, they could have triggers set up, like this person's interested in pet sitting. We need to send them stuff about pets. They clearly have a pet. They clicked the link for home repairs. We need to send them stuff about home repairs, little DIY projects they can do themselves or stuff that we're able to do for them. And then by sending an email like that, you are starting that relationship process. You're gathering data. You're making the segmentation of your database so much easier. And it's not like Here's what we're doing. Buy this thing now. Here's some stuff that we can offer. If you're interested in more information, go ahead and hit whatever area you're interested in. So it's beneficial to you from a segmentation standpoint, but it's also beneficial to your database because they're able to learn more about you in a way that doesn't feel pushy and like I have to buy the service now. So we talked about anti-marketing in a previous episode, and this second version of the Hometown Helpers email is really doing that anti-marketing work. They're building trust, establishing credibility, and by taking these clicks and using it to help them segment their market, they're going to be able to provide even more niche down value to the different areas of their audience so much faster. So we want to hear from you. What is the worst personalized email? Or I'm even open to hearing about personalized DMs that were clearly sent by a robot. So, what are the worst ones you have ever received, and what made it so bad? I would love for you to either message me on any of the socials or leave your comments in the show notes below. And I am going to pull from some of these examples and feature them anonymously, of course, on future episodes of our Marketing Fail of the Month so we can learn from other people's pain and not make the mistakes on our own. Now, what is one thing that you can do today to improve your email marketing and not make it sound like these cheesy marketing fails that we've all experienced? Go and look at the last 3 emails that you've sent as like a broadcast to a wide group of people, more than 30 or 40, right? And ask yourself, if I put myself in their shoes, would I genuinely appreciate receiving this email? Does it continue to build on the relationship, or am I clearly just trying to sell something? If you're trying to sell something in all 3 of the last emails that you sent, it's probably not a good sign. However, you can take this lesson, improve on it, and move forward. Focus on providing value, being more helpful, and connecting with your audience on a more human level. And if you're ready to just completely ditch the personalized email fails and build a truly effective marketing strategy, Limitless Impact Agency would love to help you. We specialize in creating entire email campaigns that build relationships, nurture leads, and drive conversions. Please go ahead and book your free strategy session with us, and we will help you walk through a good email strategy for your unique business, whether you decide to work with us or not. You can find the link to the free strategy session in the show notes below. That's all for this week's episode of Quick Business Tips. Please come back next week for more ways to improve your business. I'm Jennifer Swineford with Limitless Impact Agency.